Welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Laurel Porter. We're talking about the race for Portland mayor. There are 19 candidates. Here on Straight Talk, we've been talking with the leading candidates. In our first segment, we heard from Portland businessman Keith Wilson. We'll hear from candidates current commissioners Carmen Rubio and Renee Gonzalez next week here on Straight Talk. And all the leading candidates will also be taking part in our KGW mayoral debate, which airs on October 15th at 6:30 p.m. Now we meet candidate Liv Osthus. Liv is a single mom who's lived in Portland for 28 years. She grew up in the Midwest and got her degree in cultural anthropology from Williams College in Massachusetts. She's a writer, musician, and artist, and is probably Portland's most famous stripper who goes by the stage name of Viva Las Vegas. She's written 2 books about her experiences on stage, and her story inspired a feature-length documentary. While she doesn't have any prior political experience, she's running on a platform of addressing climate change, revving up small businesses, focusing on the arts, and a compassionate approach to homelessness. Welcome to my guest, Liv Osthus. Welcome to Straight Talk. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Well, Liv, when people hear about your background, they may be surprised that you're running for mayor. Why did you decide to run?
Well, 2 reasons. Primarily, Portland is suffering, going through a dark patch right now, and I care passionately about Portland, and I am a creature who shines light in dark spaces. That's what I do on stage at Mary's, and that's what I want to do for the city. I want to guide us forward with hope, inspiration, and using an artist's skills to think creatively about our problems and bring solutions.
Well, when you haven't had any elected office experience, so people may wonder what qualifies you to be mayor.
Well, the new role of mayor, to me, it strikes me more as a figurehead, more of a stage creature. What other candidate has spent the last 28 years on stage? I ask people. I do think that it's time for change, it's time for hope, it's time for optimism, and it's time to think outside the box. A lot of the other candidates are coming from this old model. It's time for leaders to look new across the country, across the world. It's time for new people to step forward into leadership. And yeah, I think I have all the skills and qualifications. I own a couple small businesses, if you count my duplex, and I'm a single mom. Like, all of these skills benefit me and will benefit the city. I bring a lot to the table, and you could read about it, watch the movie, and decide for yourself.
Well, in this new system of government, how would you envision this role of the mayor, if you're elected, with the city administrator, working together? What would that relationship be like?
Well, the mayor hires a city administrator, so you want to hire the right person for that job, and then that person will do the lion's share of the day-to-day operations, which, in my mind, frees up the mayor to be more of a figurehead, to reach out to Portlanders, to reflect the very best Portland to our nation and our world. Hire the best person and meet with them every morning to make sure that you know what's going on, how budget concerns are looking, how the city council is influencing the dialogue on the administrative end. Yeah, just regular meetings. That's the best way, I think, for any leader, is to meet with your consigliere.
One of your top priorities, as we talked, is to address climate change. What would you do right away to try to move the city closer to its goal of eliminating carbon emissions?
Well, so yeah, I say without Mama Earth, we're all homeless, which is very true. And I do believe that Earth issues are first and foremost on so many constituents' minds, especially our youth. And awareness about the CEI Hub is one thing that we really have drummed into us on this campaign trail. A lot of us didn't even know about it before running. And so when I think about carbon reduction and such, I'm also like, there is an elephant in the room and nobody's talking about the CEI Hub with all of this fuel built on unstable infill that in a minor earthquake will spill into the river. So awareness, a lot of people lack the information to really make an educated guess or decision about where maybe our energy is best spent. But I think that is priority 1, and just spreading the awareness about it so we can act.
And behind the environment, you've said that arts and culture are one of your top priorities. Why, and what would you do when it comes to arts and culture in Portland?
Arts bring hope, arts bring vitality, arts are a huge economic engine. And I also say we are suffering from a crisis of hopelessness right now. And I don't think that needs to be the case. Portland has so much wonderful going on, and When I first jumped in the race, I saw the candidates kind of belaboring this narrative of, oh, it's really broken, we need to try hard to fix it, the houseless, the addicts. Even those people, especially those people, benefit from a message of hope that arts can bring. And I'm well connected with various arts communities, writers, musicians, actors, film, and together we can bring our skills and bring hope to the city to guide it forward.
And how would you bring hope? What specifically would you do?
Oh, gosh, any number of ways. Well, so houseless people, I meet a lot of them when I'm working at Mary's Club down on 5th and Burnside. Those people are human. We need to remember that. And I think artists are especially gifted at eliciting their stories. We could record their stories. We could make songs with them, collaborate, and give a face to these people. They are not just a monochromatic community. They are gifted people on their own. So there's just one tiny place where I think artists could really help a new vision of Portland grow.
So let's dig into a little bit more into homelessness. We heard in our first segment, other candidate that we had on the show this week, Keith Wilson, his plan for sheltering unsheltered homelessness. He plans to end unsheltered homelessness by June of next year, a really fast timeline. What would your approach be? Do you have a plan for ending homelessness?
A plan? I mean, my favorite plan is to, when I'm mayor, hire Keith Wilson to solve it by June. I love Keith and I love his vision and his dedication, but that format of just having night shelter, it's not enough. Again, these people are human. Humans need to be rooted and to grow. There's some great nonprofits working with them, and one of the things I've heard on the trail is that they need a locking bin to put their things in so that they can go to medical appointments, go to a rehab situation, even sleep, rest peacefully, which helps with mental illness and recovery. So I would start with Ground Score Association, have them build 5,000, 10,000 of these locking bins so that people realize that we recognize that they're humans and that they have things that are special to them and they want those things at the end of the day to come back to. Just something simple like that to honor their dignity and make it possible for them to heal, recover. And
you'd hire Keith Wilson. You
oh,
delegate.
Yeah, Keith, absolutely. When I'm mayor, I would love to see your resume.
So as mayor, you wouldn't just be a figurehead. You'd also be in charge of public safety, and you'd be in charge of hiring the next police chief. What would you plan to do when it comes to public safety, and who would you hire to be the next police chief?
I love this idea. I would love to meet as many candidates as possible. You know, Portland has a public safety problem. I think our police force, lots of times they don't serve the public, nor are they especially safe. Yet every Portlander wants to feel safe. And yeah, we want a clean and safe city. So I would insist that our police department, they need a culture change. We are still under the oversight of the Department of Justice because of some serious problems that have occurred, including the murder of James Chassie, 16 years this month. I've talked to individual police officers off the record who have also spoken to a need for the culture to change within the organization. So I think there's a lot there we need to unpack. My job as a mayor is to listen to everyone, to listen to the working police officers, to listen to the police chief, to listen to the constituents and say, what do we all need and how can we make it happen?
Another important priority for a lot of people is affordability in Portland. Yes. And housing. How would you approach that?
Yes, I mean, that's another huge reason I'm running, as I see my artist friends get pushed out by the high cost of living, and it not only breaks my heart, it breaks up the band, it breaks up the theater company. We need massive amounts of low-income housing, and when I see these vacant buildings downtown and I see all these people houseless outside, or my friends moving to Spokane, I think, why can't we re-inhabit those? I asked Randy Leonard, the former fire commissioner, what changes would need to be made in the code, and he said the code exists. We can re-inhabit those. So let's figure out, let the city figure out how to make that possible, palatable, pleasing to artists, to low-income families, and revitalize downtown. Humans are bees. We like density. We love to co-create, and I think that would bring so much hope, and very quickly, and without a huge financial investment.
Liv, we're almost out of time. Okay. I want to give you about 45 seconds, 30 seconds to 45 seconds to address the viewers and let them know what your final message is.
My final message. Portlanders should be really proud of themselves for voting in this new form of ranked choice voting, the small donor elections. You have a lot of research to do coming up. What kind of mayor do you want to see as your leader, guiding you, shining light on Portland, reflecting the very best parts of Portland? It doesn't have to be just about public safety. Indeed, it must be about more, about all the wonderful things Portland is. Let's remember that and hire a mayor who reflects that. That's your job, Portland, and I can't wait to see who you pick.
Liv Osthus, thank you for joining us here on Straight Talk. If you'd like to find out more about Liv, check out her website. It's vivaforportland.com. Thanks again, Liv.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. Join us next week with my guests, our mayoral candidates, Commissioner Carmen Rubio and Commissioner Renee Gonzalez. Also join us for our debate that's coming up on October 15th with all the leading candidates at 6:30 p.m. We'll see you next week for Straight Talk. Have a great week.